Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Beware the Board, a horror podcast. We watch a randomly selected horror movie every week. I'm Bob.
And I'm Ben again.
We're back, baby. It's
Yeah.
Monday. We're coming in, watching.
Part 2.
Yeah, part 2 of Friday's episode.
Electric Boogaloo.
Friday we watched Ringu, which was interesting, to say the least. I mean, it was fun.
I liked it.
Yeah. Now we're gonna watch the next one.
Yeah. We're watching Rasen.
Rasen.
And this is the, chronologically speaking, the third movie in the Ringu franchise.
Okay.
However, well, like, release date chronologically.
Mm-hmm.
Timeline chronologically.
It's the second one.
It's the second one.
Okay.
So once again, for anyone who, for some reason, hasn't seen the last episode,
Yeah.
last week, so Friday, we watched Ringu, which came out in 1998.
Yes, I believe you're correct.
But that movie is an adaptation of a book by the same name,
Mm-hmm.
as well as like a remake of a made-for-TV adaptation of the same book,
God bless.
Ringu Kasenegen, I believe, which came out in 1995. Long story short, third movie, second in this timeline.
Okay.
So it's a sequel to Ringu in 1998,
Nice.
and it is the first of the two sequels to that movie we'll be watching today.
Yeah, the other one will come out on Wednesday.
Yeah. So, like I said, 1998. Translation.
I wanted to know.
Spiral.
Ooh, that's kind of rad.
That's kind of like the literal translation. There's a bunch of other translations that would also kind of work.
Okay.
The one I think is most accurate to the context is like helix.
Okay. That's interesting. I didn't really know what to expect, but that's... never mind. I'm going to stop myself.
But
Keep
Spiral's the one you see, like, if you see this film in English, you'll see it written as Spiral.
Spiral. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's not really what I expected, but it's interesting.
Now, this is the first sequel to Ringu to come out, and it's by far the less popular one.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what this movie's like
So, like,
now that I have a frame of reference watching the first one.
the timeline's continued with the other sequel we'll be watching.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the one that won out,
Yeah.
just so you know. So my description of this one, the forgotten sequel,
Okay.
'cause that's what it is.
Fair enough.
Length, it's an hour and 37 minutes long.
Bog standard.
Not rated.
Awesome.
IMDb scores,
Okay.
or review scores, whatever. IMDb, 5.2 out of 10.
Mm.
Here's where it gets interesting. Tomato meter, nothing. Couldn't find one.
Wow, I don't think it's happened yet.
And I searched both the Japanese name and the English name. Found pages for both. No ratings either side.
Wow.
The audience score, I was able to find, I think just for the English version.
Okay.
Again, for the Japanese version, there was no reviews.
Mhm.
27%.
That's so low. That's so low.
But again, I think for these movies, because they're foreign and also older, IMDb is probably going to be a better source for
Yeah.
reviews than Tomato Meter.
Mm-hmm. That's
or
fair.
Rotten Tomatoes, because I think Rotten Tomatoes is a much more user-driven site,
Mm-hmm.
but also newer.
Yeah.
Awards, nothing. Nada.
Okay.
Notable actors, lots of the same ones that we saw in the last film.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome, actually.
Yeah, that's kind of going to be a thing we see in this film and in the next one.
Oh, wow.
So we're not going to really have any new actors.
That's okay.
The ones I am going to mention, though, are Koichi Sato as Mitsuo Ando. He plays Hajime Saito in When the Last Sword is Drawn in 2002. And then Hinako Saki as Sadoko Yamamura. So it's a different actor this time
Okay.
for Sadako.
That's interesting.
And she's also been as Sugina Minkaji in Mainichi ga Natsuyasumi.
Mm.
Now, I think it is interesting to note that this actor is only in this movie. It's the
Okay.
original actor in the next sequel.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any more actors to talk about?
No.
Okay. I want to bring something up. This is completely a tangent. You mentioned one of the first actor you mentioned plays someone named Saito, right?
Yeah.
In the other thing, I know that person because I assume it's a samurai movie
Yeah.
or a swordsman movie. Me and one of our friends just finished watching Rurouni Kenshin, and Saito's one of the main characters in that old, it's an old 90s samurai anime, and Saito is one of the main characters in that. So
Okay.
I just recognized the name. I just
a
wanted to
very
put it out there.
different. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
I
the
know.
movie I was talking about.
Yeah, but I'm saying like they're both based on the historical figure, I assume, who is a real person that existed
All right.
during the Meiji era.
Director Joji Ida. He's also directed Tokyo Babylon, 1999, which came out in 1993,
What the fuck?
and then he also wrote this movie.
Okay.
He's written Dragonhead, 2003. So notably different writer director
Mm-hmm.
than the last one.
Okay.
Budget $2,900,000 US. It's an estimate. Couldn't find a box office. Country of origins Japan. Here's where we get into some of the really weird stuff about this film.
Okay.
This film was released at roughly the same time as Ringu, as an attempt to like increase sales. This film also came out in 1998.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they came out at the same time.
Like, how close apart did they release?
Everything I found has said at the same time
Why would they do that?
because apparently they increased sales. Because remember, at this point, they'd released Ringu on TV. It
That's
did really
true.
well,
That's true. Yeah.
and so they made 2 sequels.
Damn.
They made the movie and the sequel, like a
Yeah.
TV, made-for-theaters movie, and
Mhm.
a sequel to that movie.
And they dropped them at the same time.
Yeah, I guess the idea
It's
is
really
they could
interesting.
increase sales by doing it that way.
Yeah, because if they watch the first one and liked it, they come back for the second one.
Yeah, immediately, because
Mhm.
it's fresh in their minds.
Yeah. That's an
Um,
interesting tactic.
Did not work out.
Damn.
So, with that being said, filming like both these things roughly at the same time allowed for them to share the same production team and cast members, roughly.
That is nice. And also, like, since they're filmed at the same time and you have some of the same actors returning, they don't look any different.
Yeah.
They're same age,
The only downside, different writer than director,
which is an interesting choice to
which
make.
is a interesting choice, especially when the first movie is so much more well regarded.
Yeah.
With that being said, once again, this is based on a novel. It's
Mhm.
based on the 1995 novel of the same name, so Rasen, also by Koji Suzuki. So it's
The same author.
it's the sequel to Ringu.
Oh,
Is
okay.
Rasen,
Okay.
and
I
that's,
just-
that's
okay.
the book that this movie's based on.
Got it.
So
Got it.
kind of that situation.
Okay.
There is a third novel in this
Wow.
like trilogy. It's
Okay.
called Loop. It released in 1998.
Loop, Spiral, and Ringu.
No,
huh?
not Loops. Loop. One.
I said Loop.
Oh, okay.
I said Loop,
Yeah, it's-
Spiral, then Ringu.
You did it backwards though.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
Ringu, Spiral, Loop.
yeah, but it's interesting that the first one is called Ringu and the second one is the other two are based on shapes.
Well, they're all circular shapes.
Fuck. God damn it. This son of a bitch. These.
They're both kind of.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about it.
With that being said, Loop was never adapted
Oh, okay.
because this movie kind of killed this timeline.
Yeah, I was.
And
this
the
is a,
other
uh,
sequel ignores Rasen the book
mhm.
because it ignores this film.
I see. It's a Halloween 3 situation where they
No.
released a movie and it kind of killed it, and then they had to come back and
it's
redo
not
it
a
later.
Halloween 3 situation.
How is it not?
Because a Halloween 3 situation is a completely different timeline.
It was more of a.
Because, like, in Halloween 3, it's Halloween 1, Halloween 2. Halloween 3 way over here. Then Halloween 4 is just a continuation
I was
of Halloween
more
2.
of just making the comparison that it killed, like, that timeline, which I think is what Halloween 3 kind of did to Halloween as a
Eh.
franchise.
Not really.
Killed it till like 88 when the fucking fourth one came out.
Yeah, but they just continued the Halloween 2 timeline.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't know.
It's a very different situation. I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm just very different situation.
Okay.
It's like they started a timeline, it dead ended, and then they just branched off from the first movie again.
Okay.
Very normal thing to happen. That's all I got though.
So you got. Okay. Before we move on to the movie, a couple things I want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
After seeing the first one, and I'll break the illusion. We record these back to back to back, which we've already said.
Illusion. We told them that Friday.
Yeah, I know, but people maybe didn't listen to that one or listening to this one. Whatever. I don't know why you would, but people might. Watching this right after has sort of changed my perspective on what to expect. So I'm hoping I'm going into this with a better mindset to get a better experience out of the movie.
Also, before we watch this, the weirdest part of this whole thing is once we're done watching this film, you have to pretend we didn't watch this one.
Yeah, because it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Okay. I just wanted to bring up, like, I'm hoping that now that I have a perspective of what these films are about and what they should be, I'll have a better experience this time.
Yeah, because this one's going to be closer to the book, so it's probably going to have a more similar tone to the first movie than necessarily the second one does.
Okay. I'm interested. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yep.
But, yeah, I guess we're going to watch this movie. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We just finished watching Rasen. Right?
Woo!
Yeah. Woohoo.
Yeah, Bob, get excited.
Why would I be excited?
Because we don't have to watch that movie ever again.
Listen. Listen here. Ben just said that, and you may be thinking, wow, it was a terrible movie. No.
It was just okay.
It was fine. And by fine, I mean it was not as good as the first one.
It was fine in the most grueling way possible.
Yeah.
It was just not super interesting.
It was, let me put it this way. It was I can't shit all over this movie because it's not poorly made.
Yeah,
it's
well
not
done.
a bad movie. They just made some very interesting choices that I would not have made myself.
I just found it kind of boring.
It was also super
Which is,
boring,
like,
and the
worst
ending
thing
is
you can do.
The ending is just nothing.
Yeah.
Like, this movie is 100% a nothing film. Nothing fucking happens. Literally nothing.
Essentially, yeah.
Like, by the end of the movie, nothing changes. Everything is still shitty. Like, nothing good happens.
Welcome
Nothing
to real
bad
life,
happens.
Bob.
Like, I don't understand why they even made it.
All right, well,
I'm not even trying to be mean, but, like, Jesus Christ.
you want to get into it?
Yeah, man.
Okay, so the rough plot, if we can call it that,
Yeah.
is apparently Ryuichi, the ex-husband of the reporter lady from the first movie,
Mm-hmm.
who died, still dead, just so we know,
Yeah.
still dead. But apparently he was a secret doctor all along.
Not secret
he-
doctor.
He was a secret doctor. He just randomly went to med school, and he has some med school buddies. And one of his med school buddies is, for some reason, doing his autopsy,
Very interesting.
which is very interesting. Don't know if that's allowed. I do want to mention the autopsy scene has the coolest thing in this movie.
Yeah,
which
for
is
sure.
We get to see cadaver Ryuichi
Mm-hmm.
with, like, his chest cavity all the way open, everything taken out, just sit up.
And just, yeah, it's so cool.
So cool looking.
Like, at the start of the movie, I was hype as fuck because that was so cool, and I was like, awesome, this
Great
is
way
what
to
I
open
wanted.
this film. And, you know, long story short, it's this friend of his starting to investigate, like, what happened to him
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. That's basically all the movie is,
Uh-huh.
except it's more of
I-
a medical drama than a crime drama.
Can I bring this up right now? This doesn't need to be a Ring movie. Like, Ringu doesn't need this sequel. This doesn't feel like it's so tonally different from the first film and has almost nothing to do with anything that happened in the first movie.
Yeah, I mean, the really big tie-in is the friend who did the autopsy. I don't remember his name. Do you remember his
I
name?
don't remember his name. That's how forgettable the main character is. I don't know his fucking name.
He finds the tape and he watches it
Yeah.
because basically all the characters we care about from the first movie die.
All of them
Just
are dead.
off-screen.
Yeah. Yoichi's dead, for fuck's sake.
The
I can't
kid
believe it.
And Reika, the reporter lady,
Yeah.
just die in a car accident.
Mm-hmm.
So the main character of this movie ends up with the tape through a bunch of coincidences,
Mhm.
watches it, then deals with the tape, smashes every copy of it available,
Mm-hmm.
and yet people are, like, dying who didn't watch the tape.
Yeah.
It's a weird movie.
I'm It frustrates me.
I'm going to describe the ending right now, so, like, spoilers
my God.
for anyone who wants to watch that.
The ending is abysmal.
But it turns out all these people are dying because they're getting sick with this weird virus that looks like smallpox.
Mm-hmm.
But it turns out the reason they're dying isn't the tape. It's because of this journal that Reiko wrote.
Yeah, that had
All
all the
about-
information about the tape.
Basically, it's all the information about how Sadako died.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the diary is killing people when they read it. And
Yeah.
it causes, like, this virus-like death rather than, like,
The heart attack,
like
yeah.
death of the tape,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine.
Yeah, that's fine, honestly. I don't care
I
about
actually
that.
think it's one of the the coolest thing this film does is this idea that, like, oh, there's two ways Sadako's rage can spread.
Mm-hmm.
Like, two different mediums. Like
I'm
tape
completely fine with that.
and a diary. And I like how it has different ways of killing people.
Mhm.
I thought that was really cool.
I did too.
Where, like, the tape's the 7 days. The diary's, like, you see images of her in your sleep and stuff,
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
guess.
and you get sick and
It's
then
not well
suffocate to death.
explained.
No, nothing is explained, to be honest.
But see, the thing I don't like about this movie is, first of all, the whole time, the main character is having this weird relationship with that student we see of Ryuichi in the first movie for half a scene.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie implies that they were together,
Yeah, someone
guess.
calls them his girlfriend.
even though that was never
Established in the first film.
established or confirmed.
Yep.
And so those two people are having this weird relationship in this movie, the student and the main character. And they end up having sex.
Yeah.
And long story short, this act of having sex, because the main character was haunted by Sadako
Mm-hmm.
from both reading the diary and watching the tape, allowed for Sadako to be reborn
Yeah.
looking like that girl. Mai's her name. Or male. Call her whatever you want.
God damn you.
Who Ryuichi was apparently having sex with. So Sadako is now reborn.
Yep.
From Mai
Mm-hmm.
to look like Mai.
Yep. And then she killed her.
Then she kills the original Mai, replaces her. And then to wrap everything up, they end up impregnating Sadako Mai
Yeah.
with the DNA of Ryuichi and bringing
Birthing him.
Ryuichi back.
Yep.
And then the dead kid of
The main character.
the main character, who's not Yoichi.
Not Yoichi. Different kid.
And the weirdest part about all this, besides the weird family tree
Yeah.
thing that's happening
it gets
there,
dirty.
is the fact that all the reborn people they're the people who were dead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're the same age as they died, and they have all their memories. But they're also Sadako.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird, and it's...
And the film ends on this note of, like, resurrected Sadako Ryuichi is publishing that diary,
Yeah.
so it spreads that to
Mhm.
everyone.
They're publishing it as a novel.
And the idea being that, like, anyone who reads it is either going to die from that virus thing or have sex with someone and
Pass it on.
birth another Sadako person.
Yeah.
Really weird.
Weird as fuck.
I think I know why that happened that way.
I would love for you to
Like,
explain
what they
it,
were going for.
because I didn't get it, and I thought it was really dumb.
And I think they went for something interesting. I just think it turned out really badly in this movie.
Okay.
So I'd be interested, I want to say right now, to see what this book's like,
That's fair.
because what I think they tried to do is really cool.
Okay.
Before we get to that, though, I want to say Bob hates the idea that this movie was really medical,
Yes.
and then but also like ghosts.
Yeah, like, the whole first movie is a supernatural suspense film.
Yeah, it seems really low. I guess dark fantasy might be the word.
Yeah.
Like low supernatural.
And the fact that they come into this and they start going, oh, it's a virus. There's medical, like, there's medicine, blah, blah, blah. And
Seems
it's
kind
like
of sci-fi, right?
kind of sci-fi, and it completely just dismantles the whole first film for no reason.
Yeah, it basically makes the whole first film pointless.
Pointless. There's no, you could, I've said this earlier, this doesn't need to be a movie based on Ringu at all. Or like the second book. As an independent movie, not based on that, if you remove all the, like,
Well, I think it was based on the second book,
I know, but what I'm saying is, like,
so
sorry.
it does have to be a part.
It
of
doesn't
the
need to be set in
franchise.
this universe.
It does, because it's based on the second book.
But it doesn't,
I'm just not sure how different it is from that book. You know,
it just clashes so hard
it
with
does.
all the, I said this during the movie. The second film is basically them taking all the rules and setup in, like, canon they established in the first film and saying, nah, fuck all that.
Yeah,
That doesn't matter.
Basically, because the tape is meaningless after 30 minutes.
Because he destroys them all.
all of them get destroyed.
It's
Yep.
it's dumb.
All right.
It makes me
So,
angry.
Moving on from that tirade, the thing with the virus, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think they did a poor job of it, but I think I know what they were going for.
Okay.
Okay. Sadako's the virus.
Okay. That's
So,
interesting.
They say when Sadako died, there was a wave of smallpox going through the area. So her spirit possessed, like, smallpox and is now a virus. It's a ghost virus.
It's a ghost virus. Okay. Even if they had explained that and it was more clear, I still think it's a little dumb.
No. Is it a little dumb? Yes. However, Could it be super cool if done correctly?
That's what I was about to say.
Yes.
That's such a cool
You know how
idea
cool
if you
it is?
execute it.
Of like, because I think the idea of Sadako spreading through the tapes, right, is super
Mhm.
cool. And the fact that to survive, you have to duplicate them and
Mhm.
spread them.
Like a virus.
Like a virus is a cool analogy.
Mhm.
So making her a literal virus is super cool because not only is she like a ghost, but the fact that she not only spreads like an infection, but is a literal infection
Mhm.
is a really cool idea that connects like this literal idea
Mhm.
with this metaphorical idea.
Yeah, I mean, you're taking the two parallels and basically connecting them.
And I think
Which is
that
cool.
could work really well if you kept the tone of the first movie.
The
But this movie is written and directed by different people, and it shows. Like,
Yeah.
it feels like not even just a completely different film, but like a completely different universe.
yeah.
Not only because the rules are different, but because everything just feels different.
Mm-hmm. It feels completely and totally different from the original, like film in tone, in like themes. It
It's just
just doesn't make any sense to me how you can go, okay, people like the first one, let's make a second one, and we're gonna make it nothing like the original.
Well, they made it at the same time.
I know, but
But-
you would think that they would have some sort of cross communication and be like, okay, this is what we're doing. What are you guys doing?
Here's the thing again. Different director and writer.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, no matter if you're basing it on source material or not, the director and writer are the people who have the most creative control over a project.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you have different ones, you're able to do completely different films. I think that's what happened here. From again, what I know about like the books, I think this idea of Sadako being a virus, I think that was a book thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how accurate that is. But I could see how this book could be good.
For sure, and I think as a book format, it probably would feel a lot better because you
Yeah.
have a lot more time to digest everything.
I just think this interpretation of it as this movie was not good.
Yeah.
And I want to say it was mostly due to writer and director,
Mm-hmm.
because some of the writing I thought was confusing.
Some of the writing didn't make any fucking
Because
sense.
I'm confused right now.
Yeah.
And the directing, I just didn't like the way this was shot and lit. It was a lot brighter of a
Mhm.
movie,
Yeah.
and it made a lot of scenes feel fake.
It
I
did
guess
not
is the
feel like a
word.
horror movie at all.
With that being said, this film looked great. Like,
Yeah.
you could tell the budget was almost 3 times
yeah.
as much.
Mm-hmm.
So great there, I guess.
I will say, I don't want to dunk all over it. It does do some cool stuff.
No. Yeah, like the way we opened up this film, we said it's okay, and it is. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a bad movie. It's just we came off a good movie, and
Yeah.
we watched this one, and it is a sequel that definitely does not lit up.
Yeah, it doesn't
To
live up to
expectations.
expectations at all. Just purely based on a quality of movie standpoint.
Do you have any other points you want to make?
Yeah, so I said this earlier. I think this movie does a much better job, in my opinion, using the supernatural stuff to its advantage. Like the Ryuichi stuff at the beginning, I think is so cool. Like, that was really cool, and I wanted more of stuff like that.
Yeah, it does go a little heavier on supernatural stuff, mostly because I think the virus thing causes hallucinations.
Yeah, it's
because
interesting.
Once you're infected, technically Sadako's inside of you,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is a cool way to pull that off.
Yeah.
To be like, if she's inside of you, you're going to see hallucinations.
And I think while the writing is bad at some points, there are some good tie-ins every once in a while.
Oh, there's some great tie-ins.
Yeah, like at one point in the film, someone who's infected with the virus asked the main character about Sadako's well, and he's like, "Oh, how do you know about Sadako's well? You haven't?" He's like, "I haven't watched the tape. I haven't watched the tape." And later, someone who's infected by the virus asks him the exact same question.
Yeah, I will say you can figure out that it's the book
Yeah.
that's spreading it.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, I think that's a good idea of like there's multiple ways.
Yeah.
to
Because
spread
it
this
makes
thing.
sense. Like, yes, her spirit was like attached to the tape or whatever. But if she's angry, why would
couldn't
it
she
not spread
adapt
that?
to other versions
Exactly.
of her story?
Exactly. So yeah, I think yeah. I just wish it had kept more of the tone of the first film, chucked the medical stuff out the window, or done a way better job with the medical stuff.
Yeah.
Because like, I think I can agree with you. If they had done a better job at explaining the virus stuff and made the virus feel more supernatural than actually a virus.
I think the takeaway we're both having here is cool ideas, poor execution.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. That's good.
All right. Anything else?
Nah.
All right. Before we move on,
Mhm.
I want to mention something that I wrote down. There apparently exists a 13-episode TV drama version of this story from 1999.
Ooh.
So if you couldn't get enough of this, they expanded it into 13 episodes. Of
I
a TV
actually think
series.
that probably might be better.
It might be better, or it might be 13 minutes of 13 episodes of confusion.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of my problems with this film come from the fact that it doesn't have a satisfying ending, which
Yeah.
is the ending is just like literally comes out of nowhere and the film just fucking ends.
It might just be there's too much in the book.
Yeah, so I think if do you know how long the episodes are on the show? Is it 13
I
hour
don't
long?
know.
Okay.
The
Well-
tiny show. I don't think there's a lot of information on it.
Fair enough. What I was going to say is like if we had more time with each individual like chunk of this movie, it could be a lot better because I think if they had more time to elaborate and extrapolate on these characters, they could actually make me give a shit about the main character because I really
don't care.
don't care about what he's up to
All
in
right.
this film.
Well, I just thought that was something to mention.
Yeah, that's cool. And I might try and see if I can find it and watch
I
it.
mean, if you can find it.
Yeah, I don't know where the hell I'd find it.
That's
though.
always a big question.
Especially with foreign like media.
So recommendations, I guess.
If you watched the first one and you want to watch the sequel,
Yeah, if you want to get through all the Ringu movies, this is a Ringu
this
movie.
is one of them.
So you got to watch it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well be now. Get it out of the way.
Yeah. If you're into medical dramas, there's a lot of medical stuff in this. I think that's fairly
I would almost argue this is a medical / psychological drama, because the ghost stuff almost is.
a background piece to his PTSD
And
and
it's-
like depression.
It almost feels like it could be psychological than ghost.
Yeah, there were a couple moments where you were like, "No, I don't think this is actually happening."
I think they're just crazy.
Oh my god, we even talked about how it's so. Oh my god, more people with dumb psychic powers come out of nowhere, and it's
Oh my
infuriating.
God. Yeah, they emphasize the fact that so in the first movie, Liuchi has some vague psychic powers,
Mm-hmm.
but they're very like low
Yeah.
energy.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not a big deal.
Mhm.
In this one, it's like Liuchi was like a seer. He could see the
Yeah.
future.
Mm-hmm.
He was basically God.
Yeah, it's so dumb. That's what I'm saying. Like this movie takes everything the first film establishes and goes, "Nah, fuck all that," and throws it out the
Move it up to
window.
100.
And it's dumb. It's just it made me upset, to be honest.
Any other recommendations?
If you like foreign films, it's a foreign film.
That doesn't mean you should watch it, but it is one of those.
Yeah. I don't have anything else. This
All
one
right.
made me mad.
I have similar things as Bob. The Ringu movie, so if you want to see all those, check this one out. I'd put it low on the list, but if you are watching these in release order, you have to watch it pretty early.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, good for you. Get out of the way.
From what I've heard, the other movie we're going to watch today is a lot better because that's a sequel that everyone loves.
I'm excited for that one.
Probably go watch that one instead. This is a medical drama. Again, I think you could completely watch this movie and view it as like a medical psychological drama rather
Mhm.
than a medical supernatural drama.
Yeah.
So if that sounds interesting, check it out. Because here's the thing I'll say. I think you could watch this film with having never seen Ringu.
For sure. You'd have a much better time.
Have a much better time. But I also think this film was designed that way. Because it was released at the same time as the other film. I kind of felt like they explained enough of the background
Yeah, they did.
in this film
Mm-hmm.
that you could have just watched this film and thought this was a standalone.
Oh, my God.
Which would make sense if they designed it that way.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, you don't want to watch Ringu for whatever reason, but you do want to watch this one. Maybe just watch this one by itself.
I feel like if you watch this by itself, you'd have a much, much better time because you don't have any of the pretext of the universe.
It's still kind of confusing. Like, there's a lot of confusing things about this movie.
Mhm.
But if it exists in its own universe, it's less frustrating because they didn't throw out the rules
Yeah.
of the first movie.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I mean, it's J-horror. So if you want to see something like that, that's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, Bob. Anything else for recommendations?
Nah.
All right. Go give your review.
Okay. Now here's what I'm trying to figure out.
You giving it a 5?
Fuck no. This is one of those. This is I don't know how to put this. This is a Deborah Logan situation where there were a lot of really cool ideas, but the movie flops. At least Deborah Logan was scary. Like this
I
movie's
wouldn't
not
go
even
that far.
scary. Like this is.
Yeah, but I didn't find the first movie scary either.
I didn't find the first movie scary either, but it was a good movie.
No, shut up, Bob. That was a blatant lie. I'm calling you out.
I mean, it was
I'm calling you out.
It was a little scary. It was a little bit scary.
Bob, you were going, "Boop." The whole time. You did that in this movie, too. Only at the beginning.
Yeah, because that was gross.
It was, but it scared you.
It was cool though.
But it scared you.
Little
I
bit.
heard you go, "Whoa."
Well, I went Bo when his eyes opened because he was fucking his chest cavity was exposed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to bomb it because it's not a poorly made movie. It is a fine film. I just think it does not add anything. Like, it does not elaborate on the first one to even warrant being a sequel.
And because Bob doesn't like it, he's going to give it a 1.
I'm not going to give it a 1.
A 1.5.
2.5.
What's 2.5?
2.5
men?
2.5. 2.5. 2.5 because there was some stuff that was cool, and I think watching the first one, watching Ringu before watching this kind of, I don't want to say ruined my experience because it's technically a sequel, but I think you could have a much better time if you watch this standalone without having ever seen Ringu.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think this probably could exist as its own thing.
Totally.
Just because it felt like they did it so you could go accidentally see
Mhm.
them out of order.
Yeah.
Because you definitely could see this one and then go see Ringu.
Yeah. It would kind of be a little.
Because they don't give you too much information about
Yeah.
what happened in the first one. It'd ruin all the twists.
Yeah, the twists are ruined, but
But still.
yeah.
All right. I'm trying to be objective about this, even though I didn't have a good time.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where Ben was just like, God damn it.
I was just staring at the screen being like, when is this going to end?
I think this is one of the only times I've ever asked you, how much longer did this movie have, and you actually told me the answer. Because most of the time you won't tell me because you're like, I'm not going to spoil how much longer this movie
yeah,
is.
because sometimes something's going to happen at the end. This one I was just like, it should have ended an hour ago, and it just keeps going.
I know. You were like, 10 more minutes, I hope.
There was no twist at that point.
No!
It was just like the movie kept going.
For no reason.
I hate to do this. But I got to be objective, too.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to rate it lower. But I can't in good conscience. Because I didn't like the shooting style and stuff.
See, I like the shooting style more, actually. Certain stuff. Certain shots.
I don't like the way this is shot. I don't think it meshes well with this genre of film.
That's fair, honestly.
However, it is well shot.
Mm-hmm.
The whole film's technically well done.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of it looks good. All the medical stuff looks great. They pulled up, like, real flesh and gore pictures for all their medical stuff. They got real, like, video of, like, cells dividing. All that stuff's really cool. The acting's fine. I thought the acting in the first one was better.
Yeah.
However,
I would agree.
It was less complex, usually,
Mm-hmm.
and there was less characters. So that's not, like, a high bar. But it was just needlessly confusing.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, this is a sequel, and it wasn't a good sequel.
Yeah.
Like, it just throws out all the stuff that happened in the first movie, which, you know what? I get a movie that's a sequel that's kind of like, what happened before doesn't matter. Everyone died. You know what? That's fine.
I think
That
that's
happens
fine
sometimes. However, it threw out all the rules of this world.
Mm-hmm.
And so while characters can get thrown out, the ideas established and themes established in the first movie should not.
Yeah.
And this film did that.
Just chucked him to the fucking roadside.
And again, lots of good ideas, but poor execution.
Exactly.
And it was just disappointing and boring. So,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
2.
That's why I gave it a 2.5.
'Cause technically well done,
Technically, it's fine.
but in theory, yeah. All right.
I've never been more pissed off during a movie.
I'm just kind of meh.
Like, I was so mad because the first one was so fun and interesting.
Yeah. Well, we got one more.
I got one more.
All right. We're gonna go to the outtakes.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be that many.
No, there'll be a couple buzz.
But then we're gonna go to a wrap up. So we'll see you in like a minute.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in a bit. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the outtake section for this episode of Beware the Board. I hope you're enjoying our review of Rasen so far. It's not my favorite movie of all time. I'm not going to completely dunk on it. It has some cool moments, but it's not my favorite. But if you do not want any spoilers from this outtake section, please skip to 37 minutes and 46 seconds immediately. This first clip is our reaction to Ryuji receiving an autopsy after he has died, but let's just say he doesn't stay dead. They're really slinging medical terminology this time around.
Basically, one of his arteries got clogged by a clot, and it caused his heart to die. Like part of his heart.
Oh, that's cool.
Long story short,
Ah! Ryuji, close your eyes!
Wink at him.
Don't wink at him.
Wink at him. Oh, that's
he's
so cool.
moving. What? Oh,
That's so cool.
that's gnarly. Oh, he's getting up. See, this is what I wanted. Don't give me a front-facing shot of this guy like this, dude. I'll lose it. That's gonna be so fucking gross.
Yeah, pussy.
Don't say that. Oh, he's seeing shit. That was really cool.
That was really cool.
That was a good sequence. I want more of that from the first one.
Yeah, but that wasn't what the first movie was.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, that's what I expected more of, and I enjoyed that. Like, that was cool. This next clip is Ben and I having a conversation about glowing rats for some reason.
I want to do that.
That's
I
wild.
want a glowing rat.
I don't want a glowing rat.
Why not?
I've already got a overly large one.
Okay, imagine if hyperglow in the dark. You can't tell me that wouldn't be cool.
It would be so annoying.
Really?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a bright glow. It'd be just like that black light neon yellow, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, bro. Imagine you're trying to sleep and a bright neon yellow glowing
no,
dog.
No. It's not bright. It's light. Also, it'd be buried under all the hair.
Maybe.
I think it'd be pretty great. Like, if they're outside at night, you could see them from a distance.
That's fair. That would help a lot with white. Well, she's already white, so it's easy when it's
They probably
dark
also
out.
wouldn't get hit by a car.
Yeah, that would help with that.
I think it'd be pretty sweet, I guess. What
I
I'm
don't see
saying.
why dogs haven't evolutionarily just developed that. Cars have been around long enough. They should know.
No, they should just have reflectors built in.
Yeah, like a bike. They should also just grow helmets, I think.
You know, I think they should be driving the cars.
Maybe. This next clip is my reaction to one of Ben's bits.
I just don't want to tell you right now
Fair enough.
because I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, I get it.
Male.
He's
Male.
not saying male, he's saying my.
Male.
He's not saying male, he's saying my, her name. He's not
Kusa.
trying to tell her that she has mail, he's trying to tell her that she's there.
Male.
God damn you.
Male.
He's not yelling male. He's yelling my.
Male.
I hate you. Hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the outtakes.
Hopefully that saved it.
I don't fucking know, man.
I just felt like this was a meh experience. This is the low point in our three
Yeah.
movie.
Hopefully it goes back up from here.
Hopefully there isn't
Hopefully.
another low point.
Hopefully.
With that being said, we don't really have an announcement except for we're releasing the third part of this episode on Wednesday.
yeah.
So come back for that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
And
be
then-
watching. Do you want me to tell you what movie it is?
Yeah, what movie are you watching?
Ringu 2, Bob. We're watching Ringu 2. Do you want me to explain to the audience why you're laughing?
Absolutely not, I
And
don't.
why I'm annoyed at you?
No.
I'm going to.
You can if you want. I
Um,
didn't want you to, but you can.
Basically, so Bob has to name his files when we're recording.
Yeah.
And he goes, "What's the name of this movie?" When we're recording Rasen, so this one right now.
Mhm.
And I go, Rasen. He's like, "How do you spell that?" And I'm like, Rasen. So, you know, he can make sure it's spelled right.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Okay, cool. I'm going to call this Ringu 2 so I don't get confused."
First of all, you didn't look at how I was naming the file. It was Rasen parentheses Ringu 2.
I know.
I didn't know the other one was just called
And I
Ringu
go,
2.
"Bob, don't call it Ringu 2. And you were like, "Why?" And I was like, "Bob, look at me. Just don't call it that." And then you started making fun of me.
No, I didn't make fun of
And
you.
eventually you were like, "I didn't do it because you were being a baby."
No,
I was trying to help you.
I didn't know.
Eventually I gave up and I was like, "Just do what you want."
Yeah.
I was like, "Get confused. Have Ringu 2 parentheses Ringu 3.
God damn it.
All right. So, yeah, we're watching that Wednesday.
Friday's the wrap up.
Yeah. And then Friday's the wrap up.
Yeah, and then the Friday after that is the first episode of the new season. Fuck yes, Benjamin. All right. No other announcements?
Nope.
All right. Check us out on Twitter, @BewareTheBoard. It's where I post everything about the show, updates about the show. Mondays, I post the spoiler post for that week's worth of episodes. So you would have seen this Monday that I posted a spoiler post for, the next 2 episodes that are coming out. So this one and then Wednesdays. Basically, it'll be a tweet with like a image for the movie cover, and you can click the little thing to reveal it so you can see what it is. So you can watch the movie before we do so that you can not have any spoilers when you listen to the episode. It's really useful for people who want to do that. I also post a link to the episodes whenever they go live. So if you ever miss an episode, want a link to it, or don't know when it came out, check our Twitter. Everything you need to know about the podcast, it's on our Twitter.
Yeah. Well, you can watch us wherever you get your podcasts: Spotify, Apple Play, Apple Music, right?
Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts, whatever it's called. Any other combination of weird words that means you can listen to audio. We're also on YouTube. We post all our stuff there still. If you're going to go listen to us there, like, comment, subscribe. It's also a really good place if you want to communicate with us. Same thing with Twitter. Maybe we can have a conversation about the fact that this movie weirdly sexualized Sadako.
That was weird.
It was a weird thing. So comment about that, I guess.
If you want.
We're
on TikTok now, so check us out on TikTok. I post clips from the show on there. If TikTok's your thing, we're on there, so check it out. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see you guys on Wednesday then.
Yeah, see you then.